afternoon to the viewers of the live stream. Whether you're watching live or after it saves as a live stream, welcome to another live stream. Now, we have a lot to discuss today. The biggest thing I'm watching right now is MSTR. Because if the bull market has been confirmed, MSTR will close the gap to the upside. What do I mean by that? I will mention it in about 5 minutes. Bitcoin just had its second attempt at the 200. At the 50-week moving average. Now, the sad thing about this is even in the bull market, you just sit here. So we will know that it's not bearish any longer if we just sit here. Over the coming week and a half, we must see a rejection in order to confirm the bear market is still in play. Even in the bull market, we sat here for a week and then we went up. So in order for the bear argument to remain intact, we must do this exact move and come back down by the end of September. That would be the biggest bull trap in history, which would invalidate the super cycle and trigger the low at the end of the year. Anything other than that is bullish. We've simplified it down to a very black and white scenario. We don't go through this, we're bearish. We go through it, we're bullish. And when I say bearish and bullish, I mean bull market, bear market. I don't actually mean up and down. Now, it's worth noting that the RSI is overbought like this, so my guess would be if the bear market's invalidated, which is what I was looking for, we were looking for this move here. I didn't think it would get this high, and then down. Of course, getting through this would invalidate everything bearish, and you would probably see the big correction after, and then we would have a bull market. The moment of truth has arrived. We've hit this level every time we transition from a bull market to a bear market, and from a bear market to a bull market. So, without further ado, welcome to another live stream. We got 60 bogeys in the chat. Moving the goalpost another month? No, sir. September is the cutoff, and it's not even the full month of September. It's actually the first week. First 2 weeks here. Getting very close. Very, very close. We got 1-9, DC Blur, Higher Low, Xena Boy, Demon, Davo, Big G, Tagzilla, Rollin, Christie, Dictionary, Knights of Insomnia. August up, sideways, September. I would really argue sideways is bullish. In order to be bearish, we gotta see the move down basically immediately. Because there's just no more time left. And we don't want to be bearish for too long. We may have already been bearish for too long. But I can show you guys a list of 100 coins that actually haven't moved yet. MSTR is one of them. Well, it moved today, of course. But I made a video about MSTR today because I was potentially seeing something happening, which is why I made the video this morning before to move up. So MSTR is doing something very interesting to me that I don't want to ignore, because here's the thing, guys. I'm not a perma bear, okay? Once I see everything I need to see, which it's getting there, I will no longer say we should go down. And just to put it into perspective, A lot of people called the bottom here, and then we went lower. So we're literally in the same spot where the first bottom was. The bottom was in, remember? And then the bottom fell out. So much to discuss with MSTR. I will probably talk about it in the next 3 minutes, but Santander says, can we just dump to 40K? As nice as it would be, and it's still possible, you don't want to get married to it. The biggest thing I learned that's very important is to cut your losses as fast as you have confirmation to cut them. It's the biggest thing in crypto and in anything, and in life too. When someone is not good for your life, cut them out as soon as possible. We were trying to cling on to the bull market here. And I remember this like it was yesterday, because it really was yesterday. It was only 9 months ago. But I remember telling myself, okay, we break this, I'm selling everything, it's over. We broke this, I sold everything, it was over. So, same thing right now. We get through this, there's no reason to be bearish. We get rejected, it's still bearish, but just getting rejected doesn't mean we're going down. We have to see follow through. Unfortunately, this is the only bearish outcome. The momentum is bullish. The RSI is the highest it's been, which is only seen in bull markets. And we've already been saying that for about a week, believe it or not. We've been up here for 5 days already. So this is the only outcome that's acceptable for the bear market, because it only takes 10 days to go down. Which means if it's September 10th and September 12th and we're still up here, which I don't see happening, we'll probably even go through it or go back down. But I imagine if we're still sitting up here, we could argue that it's invalid. But if we're back below 75K, it's possible. Why? Because like we talked about for the last 2 months, the short-term realized price is now starting to climb. So we would have to break below this and just go right back down. But I have a feeling that if the bull market will invalidate the cycle, it's not going to wait much longer. So while I am calling that the bear market is still in play, I am very open to being invalidated. And I will no longer call you to say we're going to 40K. As soon as it's invalidated, I will automatically say it's invalidated. And I am showing you now that we're getting warning signs that it is invalidated. We're officially on the other side of the Gaussian channel. That's not typical in bear markets. Normally, once you get out, it's bullish again. You see? Once you get out, it's already bullish. So I am very, very much starting to accept it may not go back down. Now, there will be a big correction. The question is the correction before we break the moving average or after? Because it's after. If it's after, there's no bear market. We would come back down here. Everyone would say it's still bearish, but that's your chance to get in before the train leaves. A lot of people think we're just going to go right to 200,000 from here. Maybe it happens. I'm not in a position to invalidate it, but that's never been the case. In every bull market, with the exception of 2019, and 2019 was a retracement, so obviously if we go up very fast, we have to be open to that too. But in every bull market, when you thrust it upwards, you just consolidate it for months. So my guess would be that if I am incorrect, and the bull market has already started, we'll probably get one more push, and then we'll see the consolidation. And in here is where the stock market comes back to life, because if you notice, the AI stocks are all down. And then towards the summer, in the middle of the summer, we'll see the next leg up. And that's where the money is, right here. That's what has always been the case. Now, if it's like 2019 and we just start teleporting, then we'll have to be open to, again, another crash at the end. But for the bear market, we are at the invalidation point. We cannot go any higher if we're bearish. You can see, same thing for the 4-day Gaussian channel. When you come out of it, the bull market has been confirmed. When you come out of it, the bull market has been confirmed. And when you come out of it, the bull market has been confirmed. So if we reverse back down from here, you could argue the bear market is still valid. Very true. But I am not here to remain stuck to something. Once it's invalid, I'm moving on. And I want to be ready for if it is going to get invalidated. Because MSTR has a monster gap to close. Put that on the Solana chart. Yeah, I see Solana pushing. That's another worrisome signal that the bear market might be over already. But again, even Solana, you had the big move up and then you had a retracement. So people are going to FOMO in, even if it is a bull market, and they may be shocked at how little the prices move. But again, I'm not going to pretend to know, right? I'm not going to come up with a new theory. We'll obviously see how it goes, but that would be the idea. So if we're wrong and the bottom is already in, we may just be able to take this and squish it down. Because the momentum is saying that may happen. I am a big momentum guy. I understand that people were warning me. I respect it. I see it. And once we break higher, I have no reason to tell you guys we're in a bear market. Which, once you say that, you can't go back. So, I am willing to wait it out. You see how we broke the moving average? Stock RSI turned bullish. Yeah, you missed the bottom here, but you still had the whole bull run. Once we broke out here, yeah, you missed the bottom, but you still had a whole bull run. So you can see the monthly stock RSI, same thing here. The monthly stock RSI is telling us that the breakout will confirm. The rejection will deny. Unfortunately, like I already showed you, we might just sit here for a couple of weeks, which is obviously not bearish. Consolidation, I actually think, is not bearish. So as somebody who did miss the bottom and somebody who was bearish, I will admit that any higher than this, and I can't be bearish. I can't. And I'm looking at MSTR today, and that's why I made the video today, because I had a feeling some shit was going to happen. Now, at least if we go up, I can say I called the low. No, I'm just kidding. But I noticed something that was just too bullish to ignore. And I showed the members the better version. But if you look at this chart, you can actually see that MSTR just pumped today. Today was the first day. So there's a MSTR is severely undervalued right now if this is the bull market. Because Bitcoin pushed up, but MSTR just broke out today. This is extremely urgent. Because for people that think they missed the bottom, Maybe we did, right? I understand. Maybe we did. But what I'm trying to get across is the you missed the bottom doesn't faze me, because I can clearly see when people were calling the bottom all the way down, we're just now getting back to that today. So if I would have bought in here where I was told the bottom was, it would be the same exact thing as buying in today. You can spin it how you want to, but that's the facts. Facts in the charts, as our friend once said. All right. Now, if you want to get in, that's up to you. I'm not here to sway you anymore. I'm not trying to, what do you call it? I'm not trying to swindle you. Right? Same thing with Dogecoin. We said back in November, once we break through this, it's over. Obviously didn't call the top. Well, we did argue the top should be here. We just thought it would be higher. So not necessarily correct. But either way, we said once we break through, there's no longer a reason to be bullish. We're going down to 5 cents. We missed it by about 20% at 6.9 cents. If the bottom is in, of course. But again, I present the evidence to you that they already told me the bottom was in here and then we went lower. So if you already bought in when the first bottom was in, you're already in the same position. So this whole notion that you made me miss the bottom, my brother in Christ, why didn't you buy here? Because you told me it was bearish. Okay, then, it was bearish. Now we're back to where we are. And I'm saying we're about to find out if we're invalidated or not. So if you don't know, I don't know either now if we go any higher than this. Thank you very much. I'm still wrong, but the concept or the principle is good, is right. We're in the exact same spot that we were already in. Same thing for MSTR. And what I'm trying to tell you now is even at $137, MSTR is undervalued if the bull market has started. And you're seeing it with that ASST. You see how ASST had a big spike like this? Now it's back to the January level. Big if, but if this is the bull market, MSTR is about to have the same move. It should come right back to these levels because of this chart right here. The Bitcoin pair is undervalued. The question is, are we in a bull market or are we not? And unfortunately, the market's not going to wait to tell you. By the time we already agree, it's going to be up there or get rejected. But we're fastly approaching that invalidation because now even MSTR is starting to push. And MSTR pushing is bullish. As you can see, this was the cutout we were monitoring, but it would argue that if September is not bearish, there is no crash. Because you can see we're supposed to be going down starting basically right now. Right now. So this is it for me, gentlemen. Once we pass through this window, I can no longer say it's bearish. If you want to get in, I understand. If you want to wait, I understand. My job isn't to give you options of what you should do. It's to present the information to you. That's what I did. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm wrong. I totally get it. Now I'm presenting the evidence that we may have been wrong. Some people might say you're an idiot. That's fair. Some people might say, okay, that's understandable. Now where do we go? And if September is not bearish, we still may go down, but that's only a correction, meaning that MSTR will close the gap. The problem is, which is what I said in the video this morning, once the gap closes, it's closed forever until the next bear market. And here's the thing, man. You see how we're at a 0.7 NAV at the top? That's where we've been all bear market. It will close when we're bullish because it closed in May. And when I saw that this morning, I said, I have to make a video. I am going to be covering MSTR because I think it's the ticket out for people like us that don't want to buy garbage cans. But you can see that the NAV in February of 2025 was 2. And then in June, it was at 0.6. We're at 0.7 right now. But in May of this year, it was at 1.07, which means even in the bear market, MSTR closes the gap. So MSTR is still undervalued by 30%, which means that if this is the bull market, MSTR is about to shoot up by 30%, which is approximately 175. So we'll know it's a bull market once MSTR hits 175. So was I too bearish? It's possible. I'm not denying that. But I'm telling you now, before it goes to 400. So again, I can't defend myself because I said we should go to 50 bucks. But I showed you guys the video the other day that said we should go to 80 bucks. Unfortunately, I was too bearish when we got there. So it is what it is, you know? But like I said, I think for me personally, what I learned is it's always better to rip the Band-Aid off as fast as possible. And a lot of people call the bullish divergences on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Got to give them credit. I was one of the people that said everyone's looking at it, so it's not going to happen. Got nothing but props for the people who called it. I made the video this morning saying you now have the same thing on MSTR. So we'll see if it ends up playing out, which it's only going to play out if the bull market has started already. Because again, we look at this chart, and that's why I wanted to tell you guys how urgent this is. Because a lot of people are saying we missed the bottom, we missed the bottom. This chart says the bull run didn't start yet for MSTR. But literally the day I made the video, the market said, fuck, he found it. Send it up. They said he found it. Bump it. Bump it. As soon as I saw this, I said, dude, I gotta let them know. But you have the nastiest bullish divergence on this chart. This is MSTR divided by BTC, which means we're struggling right now. So if this is a bull market, you're going to see this pump by 40%. And if Bitcoin pumps, we'll break the bear market resistance, and MSTR would basically pump by 50%, which is why it moves so heavily. So it's almost like a hidden trick or a hidden gem or a hidden hint or hidden whatever, where you have the bullish divergence on the regular chart, which is normal for everyone, like, okay, it's bullish, but there's a super hidden bullish divergence playing out here, which means the pump didn't even start yet. It's about to, though, if, and I say if because I'm a bear, a caution, what's the word I'm looking for? Cautious bear. But I'm not here to give you guys bearish and bullish only information. I'm here to give you information, and I would be doing you a disservice if I ignored this, because I know a lot of us want MSTR, and some of you guys did buy in. And in my defense, even higher low will tell you, even though I don't like DCA, I did cover my ass when we were down here, and I did say I can't even disagree with you, below 80 or 100 or whatever it was is a decent DCA. Like, I wouldn't even disagree with that. I don't push DCA because I really don't, because I just don't. But MSTR is the one exception that I draw to. So we're going to see, man. We're going to see. Because being too bearish for too long and too bullish for too long are the same, but not really. Because if you're bullish for too long, you might actually lose everything. If you're bearish for too long, you only lose everything if you're shorting. So I don't know who's shorting, but we're at that line where any higher than this and shorts are going to get even more liquidated. Because listen, I'm respecting both scenarios. I am respecting the bullish argument because it's there. Even I see it now, so maybe the top is in, but if the top is in, it's bearish, which means that we're still in a bear market. So it's reverse, reverse, reverse psychology. Even though we are saying, and all the perma bears are saying, there's $10 billion of shorts. If you go to the liquidation map, sorry, oh man, I gotta log in. 1 second. Even though the perma bears like me are saying there's $10 billion worth of longs, we're actually coming up on that short liquidation too. Like, there's still a lot of people short. So obviously, if we take the high, we'll know, which I don't even want to act like I know. Like, the experts already called the low, but the regular people like me, once we take the high, we'll be able to admit defeat. And we'll just say, yeah, that was it. The problem is, once that happens, that's where the reversal is. But I think for people like me and whoever else, it's kind of like, do I buy in? Do I not buy in? You got to do what's best for you in times like now. But like I said, to defend my butt, MSTR is back to where it was the first time when people said DCA. And Dogecoin is back to the same price where people said Doge DCA. So even if the bottom is invalidated, they're still in the same spot. Which is why I am opening the bullish propaganda now instead of all the way at 400. So now we can't say we were bearish. We were only bearish at 100. We weren't bearish at 120, 130. All right, like I said, my job isn't to give you only bearish information. When it starts to get bullish, I have to show you because I don't want to miss the bull run either. And if this thing pivots green, it's going to be something to behold. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I guess I'm still living in 2020 where 1 trillion was a lot of money. If we don't see any type of crash at all, Nvidia is now at 5.5 trillion. So I'm saying to myself, why can't MSTR go back to the high at 500 billion? Sorry. 500 billion would be $1,300. So why can't that happen? Why can't that happen? Yeah? Maybe it does. That's why I'm showing you the bullish propaganda now. If you want to get in, you got to do what's best for you. But as I was going to say, before I got interrupted by myself, if we look at the liquidation map, there is a record number of longs all the way down at 65,000. So the question is, are we going to go back and get them? But you got to remember that from 3 months ago, there's also $4 billion at 84,000. So once we break that high, there is quite literally no reason to be bearish anymore. But what most likely would happen is when the last bull turns bearish, or when the last bear turns bullish, that's where the top is. You're probably going to see some type of nasty pullback once we break through it. And then people will start questioning, holy shit, you know? But there is a lot of shorts at 84,000. There's 10 billion. Oh my God, it's 20 billion now. It's it's $15 billion at 62,000. So once we break through, I can't tell you guys we're bearish anymore. And even now, I'm starting to show you the bullish propaganda because it's there. But this is it for the bears. This is it for us bears. Once we break through this, I am putting on my Moonboy cap. This is quite literally the end for us bears. Because once we break through this, There is no reason to be bearish. There is zero reason to be bearish. And I would be doing my viewers and my future self a disservice if I said bearish once we break up. You can love me, you can hate me, but that's undeniable. When this thing pops out of the Gaussian channel, it's officially a bull market. And I am going to tell you now that this is it for the bears. We cannot go higher than this. As you probably know, all the bears that are left are all saying the same thing. Here's the difference, though. Some people will continue to be bearish the whole way up. Now, you guys know that I'm a moon boy at heart. This was our first bear market where we were bearish. So it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that good either. I would say a mediocre, right? We avoided all the pain, but now we might have been bearish for too long, which is fine with me. It's not fun. It's not great, but, you know, I'm just a regular guy, just like you. Think of me as you who just bought a microphone. I'm not an analyst. I'm not a Wall Street financial expert. I'm just a pleb that eats McDonald's, even though I don't eat McDonald's. But listen to me. You don't have to listen to me, but this is it for the Bears, man. We got to break through. Sorry, we got to reject here. Because I'm already seeing Bears move the goalpost even higher. For me, this is my cutoff. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because I'm looking at these doo-doo coins and I'm saying to myself, the ones that I want are still not moving. Dude, do you guys remember the other day I pointed out Fartcoin? The shit started pumping as soon as I talked about it. Now, that's that's not because of me. It's just because I see the chart setting up and then it starts pumping as soon as I see it. So, there's a whole list of coins here that have not budged. And I don't want to miss them. I'm not going to FOMO in, but once we get through the confirmation, I want to get in. Same thing with Cardano. I don't even like Cardano, but Cardano is underneath where the first bottom was, where a lot of people call the bottom. There's a lot of coins. Here it is again, H-bar. Still below the low, even though the bottom was in February. Still here, literally. So, I'm not affected by you made me miss the bottom, because all the shit we talk about is still underneath the first bottom that you guys said the bottom was. Not you guys, it's just a general saying. Also caution that a lot of these coins aren't going to go back up. SWI, I don't know anything about SWI. Still garbage, still below the bottom from February. So here's the elephant in the room. Total 3 is still slamming into the resistance. So this is quite literally the bear's last stand. Once we go up again, there is no reason to tell my viewers we're bearish. Zero. Can I tell my viewers we're still bearish here? I might as well, because we were already bearish the whole way. Might as well finish it out. And you know what? If this is how it ends, it's not how it ends. It's just the end of our first bear market where we were bearish. There's going to be 10 more bear markets, because I'm never going anywhere. If this is the end of the bear market, then my YouTube channel survived. Because you better believe that once I have confirmation, I am literally shitposting my Dogecoin videos until I get to 200,000 subscribers. Last year, you know what my brother told me? I don't really talk to him anymore, but he told me that Coinbase has 15-minute bets on Bitcoin. You can bet every 15 minutes. Dude, they're turning this into the biggest casino of all time. And I want to capture that. Some people think I'm a perma bear. I love the bull market. My YouTube channel will thrive. And if Doge is going to take me there, I want to be on the train. But that's my speech for today. Thank you all for watching. No, I'm just kidding. I got to get some water, though, because I am parched. But that's where we're at, gentlemen. The reality is the damage has been done, but I think the faster you rip the Band-Aid off, the better off you'll be. And I said that at the top. I said the faster you swallow the pill, the better off you'll be. And a lot of people didn't care, and they held all the way down. And now, maybe I was bearish for too long. I'm doing the same thing I did at the top. Once we broke through here, I gave up, and the bear market started. Once we come through here, I give up, the bull market started. The good news is the bull markets are better than the bear markets. The bad news is we don't know what the bull market is going to look like if that is the bottom, because we just did something we never done before. We had a 6-month bear market with a 50% drawdown. But on the flip side, you do have to respect the moon boys who were calling for ETH to go to the moon, because Ethereum has not moved in 7 years. April of 2021. Oh, it's going to be 6 years next year. That could be ultra bearish or ultra bullish. Okay, okay, okay. We'll open up the questions to the press. Where's the $30 MSTR guy? Yeah, it was sunny. Well, look at this. We got 200 people in the chat, man. Oh, once the bull market starts, man, I'm going to be back on top. The trolls aren't even going to be able to be seen. They're going to be lost in the sauce with all the Doge lambs. It's going to be a great day. We got Subway for 5. Says, have you ever lived in your car looking into it to save 5 to 8K over the next 6 months and put into the market? I appreciate the 5. Subway, my friend, I thought you got a new job that's high paying. You're in your early 20s. You got to enjoy them. You know? You can't be living in a car, man. What are you going to tell your girlfriend, that you got to sleep in the car? Come on, man. The market is always going to be here. I've never lived in my car. I don't recommend living in your car. If you don't have the spare money to invest, then that's okay. There's always another opportunity. Don't let the FOMO and the hype draw you to change your lifestyle around. I'm telling you, man. There's plenty of time. This is the propaganda that starts in the bull run, where we go up, holy shit, we're going to 1 million, and then we do nothing for 6 months. How do I know that? Well, I don't know that, and I'll be humble and honest. Obviously, if that was the bottom, I can't really say I know what's going to happen next. But doing what I've been doing, looking at historical context, you should have about 8 months before the true alt season. So as long as you have money by alt season, if we even get it this time, you should be okay. When is that? Well, we have a lot of indicators to tell us. We just got to not ignore them this time. It's typically where the Cutler RSI starts to get overheated. You see how this was alt season? You see how this was alt season? Now, most people think we're going to go from here to here. It's not happening. We're going to go from here maybe to here and then have a big correction. And then we'll go up. That's what has always happened. Forever and ever. Now you can clearly see from Captain Hindsight that we were down there. I just thought we would get capitulation. Why do I have struggles with fixing this? How do I fix this? But as I said, I have no issue admitting I'm wrong when it's time, which we're getting close. We're getting there. Any higher than this and I'm wrong, which I already am wrong, but now I'm trying to see if we can get another move down. But the reality is, when we're down here, the problem is historically, there was always a capitulation down here. Here we were in the negative Newpol. Here we were in the negative Newpol. Here we were in the negative Newpol. Here we never even came close to the negative Newpol. So I said to myself and my viewers, well, we're not in the negative Newpol, so how could that be the bottom? Unfortunately, for the people that said I'm going to be wrong, you may have been right. But the difference that I learned this time versus the other times is I accept when I'm right. Because when you accept that you're wrong, you get an opportunity to correct your decision. If you fight the trend all the way up, the bull market will pass and you'll be saying we're going down. This is it for me. You can see every single time we've ever done this, it was the first leg up of the bull market. I cannot not only fight it, but as a YouTuber, I can't just not show it to you just because I want it to be bearish. It's not about what I want. It's about what's happening. And the fact that I may have been wrong doesn't mean I have to stay bearish. It just means I have to say I'm wrong before it's too late, which is not too late because if the bottom is in, we've been bullish for 2 weeks. Okay, calm down. No, I'm just kidding. Right? That's how it feels, though. Holy shit. Holy shit, I missed the bottom. Now I'm going to miss the whole run. Just take a breather. The real alt season, if you want to call it that, comes when we get up here. So, Mr. Subway, if you're still watching, because I didn't even realize I was talking so long, you got plenty of time. So, if you can just save $500 a month or $400 a month, by the time alt season comes, you can get to $5,000. You can get a 10x. You can see in every bull market, we get a big pump on this, then we get a retracement, and then the next pump is alt season. 2019, we had the big pump here. In 2021, whatever last market cycle was, we had the big pump here. In 2017, we had the big pump here. This was bullish for Ethereum. This was bullish. Well, Ethereum was bullish the whole time, but this was bullish for Ethereum. This was bullish for Ethereum. I'm not stressing anymore, which I am a little bit, but I'm starting to swallow the pill. Swallow the pill, fat boy. I'm getting there, trust me. Right now I'm staring at it, but I can see it. I know once I swallow the pill, there's good things in front of us, but only if I accept it. So you would have to have your money ready by here. And now, if the bottom is actually in, we can say with confidence that momentum will dictate the market cycle, not the halving. Last time, we had the top at the halving. This one, the top was right after the halving. If this is the bottom, there's a very, 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 very strong chance that the top is before the halving. Not the Bitcoin top, but the top for shitcoins. And if that ends up being the case, that could be a year from now, a year and a half from now, which is a year and a half ago, it was May, and we were celebrating the bull market. A year and a half from now, it could be the top of these altcoins. This was the original concept that I had in 2023. Unfortunately, I got it wrong because I thought the top was going to be in Q1 of 2024. But that's my opinion. This time around, I'm not looking at my opinion. This indicator says, it doesn't matter what your grandmother says, your pet turtle, get out when it's up here. It doesn't matter what I say, John Doe says, you must exit when this is up here. Now, some people think we're going right up there. That's never happened. It happened in 2011. But that still wasn't the top. You had a big pullback, and then it was the top. But this is in 2011 to 2011. There's a whole year and a half in here. I just told you a year and a half could be where it is. So I am very open to the bull market propaganda. I am simply respecting the invalidation because once the invalidation comes, I will confidently admit that I'm wrong. Why? Because I'm wrong anyway right now if I'm wrong, which means that we already missed, or I already missed, the first leg up. But I missed the first leg up here and I still hit my profit goal. I missed the first leg up here and I still hit my profit goal. Obviously, if the bull market started, I missed the first leg up. I'm setting a genuine or a generous profit goal this time because I'm tired of coming up with these dumbass targets because I end up giving it back because when I get to my goal, I make it something unachievable. And I'm not doing that this time. I'm setting a conservative, generous goal that I know I can hit. And if anything, if this is the bottom, we know with certainty that the 4-year cycle is at least dead or shifted, meaning that when we're up here, it's not the top for Bitcoin, but it's the top for me, which means it's time to get out. So it sucks if I'm wrong because I took a hit and I missed the low, but I'm not obliterated and I'm still alive and I see it. It would be a problem. It is a problem, but it would be a very bad problem if I ignored it. You know? It's Captain Hindsight, but I'd rather show you now than when we're up here saying, oh, look, it's a bull market. You know? I thought we would get a negative Nupal. I did. I really did, genuinely. So that's my bad if I'm actually an asshole. This one is still bearish, but we didn't update yet, so we'll see. I think we said when some of these pivot up, it's bullish. Yeah, see, this just pivoted up. I mean, listen, the bullish propaganda is there. It's there. The bearish propaganda is there too. But we have to remain below the high. This is it for Mr. Bear. This is it for us, for the bears in the chat. This is it for us. Because once we blow through this, it's probably going to go straight up. I would even say that it's dangerous to be bearish after this. I would confidently say that. Once we break this, which again, for the people who are already bullish and that's the low, let's just assume that's the low. Congratulations, you made a very good decision and I was wrong. For the people that are not in, breaking this, there is nothing in existence that's bearish. Now, if this isn't the bottom, then everybody who got sucked in is going to see pain. But you don't want to use your emotions when you say that. There's people that are going to say bull trap all the way up. I've seen it happen many times. That's not going to be me. This is our invalidation point. Losing the 200-day moving average was already a big sign, which is why I stopped and looked and said, okay, what's going on here? Whatever I said isn't playing out, so clearly I got something wrong. I was looking for a 200-day moving average test off of the low and then down. I never said we're going to 80K and then down. So while I can cover my butt a little bit and say we were looking for the pump, I was not looking for a bull market. I was looking for a pump and then down. So this is not what I was looking for. So because it's not what I was looking for, I have to accept that and stop moving. Oh, well, we can go up here and still be bullish, bearish. This is it. And even this doesn't look likely. It just doesn't. But we've seen Bitcoin do things that we've never seen before. So we're giving the bears the last stand. The bears' last stand. That's it. And even this, you can see, would still only put us at the low. So it has to be bigger than this. This is it for the bears. Once we go any higher, we cannot be bearish. And I don't want to be bearish once we pass here. I see so many coins that are talking to me saying, listen, I know you might have missed us, but we're waiting for you. And I say, thank you. Thank you so much. I got to get something to drink. We got 200 viewers in the chat. Welcome. I sent the mechanic to the lot, and here's what they came up with. Diagnose and repair illuminated warning lights. Estimated cost is $1,200. Yeah, if they're gonna charge you $2,000, then just rent a car, man. Just rent a car. Just rent a car at that point. We got Vegeta for 2 says 103 incoming. Bears excited, not financial advice. I appreciate the 2. I don't know if Vegeta sending a super chat. Is that bearish? He's only sent one other super chat in history. I think it was up here. Oh, no. We'll see, man. You know, I'm not in a position to say you're wrong, so we'll see how she plays out. But I do appreciate the 2. But this is it for the Bears. This is our last stand. This is our last stand. Just like here, we held. Here, we held. If we hold here, it's still possible. But here's the thing. Every day now, this is going to start to turn down. And MSTR... I think if MSTR keeps going up, it's also telling us the bear market's over. Because MSTR does this kind of shenanigans in the bull market. I'm telling you, this for the people that might have missed, this is waiting for us. This isn't your MSTR is the same price as it was in February. So I'm not gonna say it's not bullish. Because once it goes any higher, you're not even gonna get a chance. So I'm not saying to get in. I'm not saying it's going to the moon. I'm just telling you to watch it. Because once it breaks out, I have no reason to be bearish. And I'd rather show you now than before it happens. So when we go up, I can say, at least I showed you that. All right, this is hidden. This is free alpha, as the people would say. Bitcoin, whatever this is called, is still getting accumulated. MSTR is still being accumulated. Or distributed, of course, if it's bearish. But the pump hasn't started yet. So if this is truly bullish, MSTR is going to rip like you haven't seen. Now, if the bear market's going to hold, here's the problem, though. I can't say that I know that MSTR won't do it while Bitcoin sits here. If MSTR pushes up while Bitcoin sits here, I guess I would have to lean bullish because that's really not something that you would see in a bear market. But it's true. Right now, the bears they're battling the what do you call them? What do you call the crowd of people with the mob, the angry mob of people? We're all battling the same battle. The higher we go, the more the mob will come out. But this is it for me. I can't be bearish once we pass here. But I appreciate the 2. Maybe Saturday we'll be there. It's exciting, but it's also disappointing if this is how the bull market's going to start. Because we really left a lot of room on the table. We didn't really fall that much. Which means moving forward, it's going to be much difficult to say where the bottom is going to be. Which is fine, but it's just disappointing. But I'm not going to beat myself up, dude. You know, the faster you get over it, the better off you'll be. Because, like, let's be honest, man. How many people just held their Dogecoin all the way down? So even if I'm wrong, it went all the way down to 6.7 cents. So I missed my target by 15 to 10 to 15%. You know what? For someone that doesn't do TA, that's pretty good. So once this commotion passes, 2027, I'm going to be a perma-bull regardless. And we can start planning for the bull market. That's why I'm disappointed, because we're kind of in the dark right now. But we're not, because we can just use the same charts that we had last time. Now, obviously, the trolls will say, oh, look where your charts got us. I mean, it wasn't terrible. We just overly bearish. But once we hit this yellow line, once we hit this yellow box up here, it's time to get out. Now, what would be interesting is to see if that works on total. Yeah, so total market cap, too. Total market cap would be very interesting. There's still a lot of time. We're going to have a plan. Don't worry. Don't you worry, child. Derek for 3 says nothing. Is that the Derek in the 300? I appreciate the 3. I appreciate the 3, man. It does help a lot in times of despair. What if we stay here for months? We would still be bullish. The bearish argument is we go sideways for 3 to 5 days and then we go straight down. That's the bearish argument. So us sitting here throughout September will have us thinking it's going to crash and then it's going to go like this. That's why for me, there's a strict deadline. Once we pass through here, I can't say it's bearish anymore because there's quite literally no time left. There's just no time left. We're supposed to go from 76 down to 40 in 20 days. You're looking for the now you're looking for the impossible. So my invalidation is very clear. We go higher than this, or we're still up here in the middle of September. I'll be right back. I gotta get something to drink. $200 bogeys in the chat. Yeah, there's 190 people 2 weeks in. So imagine when we're bullish. That's another reason why I'm not going to stay bearish forever, because I don't want to scare away the new people. So let's take a look. Let's let our emotions calm down. Let's take a look at where are we. So, unfortunately, we are pushing a little high. So all of this may be scrapped. May be scrapped. But I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to move it once we have confirmation. Because I still think it's going to play out. It's just going to be shifted over. So there's still going to be a window where we do nothing. And that's going to be where we prepare. It's going to happen quick if this is really how it's going to go. We got against all odds for 2 says, look at troll and tell me what you see. I appreciate the 2. Troll on Solana, I assume. Is this going to be the next big thing? I think it already is. Wow. What a recovery. Wow. 10x. Well, from the low up to the high, we are sitting on the 0.5, which is kind of unusual. Normally it's the 382 or the 618. But I can't really deny that it's the 0.5. So that could just mean the bottom's not in yet. But you can see the 382 is acting as resistance at 61.2. So once we break over 61.2, she should just start pumping. All right, your price to break is 61.2. And at any time, once she falls below 39 with a 382 rejection, it's ultra bearish. So you want to keep an eye on 61. Once you get through there, she's bullish. As long as you're below there, she's going to chop around. Or bearish. But breaking 61 would send you to 10.9. Breaking 10.9 sends you up to 35. I appreciate the 2. We got Grease Monkey for 10. Says, you got this. I appreciate the 10, man. Yeah, it's possible I was bearish for too long. The trolls will come and go for the next month and a half, and then we'll be back to reality. Moodang could be next. Still got 3 million liquidity. Yeah, to be fair, it has been going sideways since February, which is a good sign. Same thing as always. Bearish below 58. Bull market above 81. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. You missed the bottom. You missed the bottom. I wasn't going to buy Bitcoin anyway, jabron. I'm going to buy Moodang. Moodang, Bootang. Moodang, Moodang, Boothang. But Moodang breaks 58. She should go right up to 81. Once she breaks 81, that's it. To the moon. So we can say Moodang accumulation or bearish below 81 and 58. Bull run above 81. I appreciate the 10. I don't know how these bots are getting in here, but I appreciate the 10. Oh, all right. What are we doing here? How is it even possible? If we look, we're looking at the smallest bear market in history. Smallest bear market in history. Now, here's some food for thought. I think I would have to finally give it up with certainty once we break out. But that means that the momentum is actually ruling the market cycle. So I guess once we hit overbought again, that's just where we get out, right? That's just where we get out. Leighton Collins for 5 says, good time to buy XRP. I appreciate the 5. Well, I can't say that I know because in every bear market, or in every bull market, XRP didn't go up until like the last second. So I'm not going to tell you to buy XRP at resistance when it's overbought. And I can't even confidently tell you that XRP bottomed just because of the fact that in 2019, the bottom was in an entire year after Bitcoin bottomed. So I would say even if XRP pushes up, it will probably come back down again and then go up. That even happened last time too, where it came up and then came back down again. And then it came back down again. But I can't tell you to buy in when the RSI is overbought. You know? It's just, if you want to get in, and that's up to you. But even XRP is in the same spot that it was in February. So it's like, technically, we may have missed the bottom, but what's the difference? Well, there's a big difference. I'm not going to pretend there isn't, but this is how I'm looking at it. We were bearish the whole year, and we're back to where we were when we were already bearish. So it's like, if I start accepting the bullishness now and showing it to you, I feel like it's still bad, but it's not as bad because we wouldn't have gone down here if we were bullish here. But because we were bearish here, and now we're hitting the point where we shouldn't be bearish if we go any higher than this. So it would kind of be like the same thing as saying the bottom's in here and then breaking away. Right? Does that make sense? Like, the only reason we didn't get in down here is because we didn't get in here. And we didn't get in here because we were bearish. But we would have been in already if we were bullish here. But the price is in the same spot as it was here. So what's the difference? We missed the bottom on the bottom that we were looking for because we thought the bottom would be lower than this, which it was, even if the bottom is down here. So it would be the same exact thing as turning bullish here because the price is in the same spot. And it's like that for almost every single coin. The only coins are are Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana. That's why, since we've been talking about MSTR for as long as we have, MSTR is in the same spot too. But MSTR is actually starting to print bullish propaganda, which is why I have to show it to you, even though I was looking for $40. This is potentially saying that a big pump is going to come if we don't go down soon. But how soon is soon? I don't know. But I cannot ignore this. Especially when the NAV is still 0.7. That means that MSTR should theoretically hit like 170 or 150 or 160 to close the window. So, something to take into consideration. Leighton Collins for 5. I already said that. I appreciate the 5. We got Kilimanjaro for 5. Says, don't feel too bad. I wrote a short from 77 to 58 and only took 10% of the profit because I bought the bearish propaganda. I appreciate the 5. See, I have to defend myself here. I appreciate the 5, and I know you're just being friendly. You said, I only took 10% of the profit because I bought the bearish propaganda. My bearish propaganda said this is going to hold. So I'm allowed to take some blame for saying we were going to go lower, but in this particular instance, I will defend myself. Because I even said we should go up from here. Which means if you would have closed your short anywhere else, you know, you might have reshorted and got hit. But I always thought we were going to go to 70K, 69K. I didn't think we were going to come up here. But I appreciate the 5, but I had to defend myself that time. Because when we were down here, the chat was telling me we're going lower. And I was like, I understand, but I think this should hold. Little did I know, if this is the bottom, that would be the bottom, which I didn't know that. I didn't call for that. That's the only reason I can show my face, which I'm technically not showing my face, but the only reason why I'm not feeling like a total moron, a total jackass, is because we were looking for this. So if it ended up being the bear market bottom, then I fucked up, of course, but it is what it is. It's not like I was like, okay, this is it. We were looking for this. It's just, it was bullish, so I got it wrong. But I do appreciate the 5. Yeah, I got hit too on this. There's no denying that. I got hit pretty... I don't know if I'd say pretty bad. I guess I didn't get hit that bad. It's just I had a plan to ride it down and then switch bullish, but now the whole plan is jacked up. So I'm waiting to see what to do next, which is fine. Like for me, it's not about missing the bottom or like I still have my watch list from 2023. I'm not saying that these coins are going to run, but I still have it. A lot of this is garbage, but remember, oh wait, what about Jesus coin? Oh shit, are we bringing back the Jesus wagon? Dude, it's back at the ground floor. You know, are we getting in on the Jesus? Are we getting in on the Jesus pump? So I'll find my way. It's just I definitely had a big plan that's just not, it's just not gonna work. What about Nubcat? Yeah, look at this. Nubcat. $3,000 on Nubcat. Holy shit. So that's why I'm not like, oh my god, Salama's pushing. Yeah, but see, how do you know that this is garbage though? But you get the concept, right? Yeah, we might have missed the bottom, but there's so many coins. Oh man. Oh wow, even Ribbit's pumping. Remember Maneki? Are we buying oh shit. Are we buying Maneki on for $3,000 a pop? I remember in 2025 we were like, yo, this thing's gonna go to 1 million. Now we can get it for 97% discount. Could you imagine these coins go back to their highs? I doubt it, man. This thing's 100x just to get back up there. But I appreciate the 5 from Killigannon. I appreciate the 5. So if it's bullish 2 weeks later and it's moving sideways, it's bullish because it doesn't make sense if it goes sideways, then goes down. Right. So what we want to avoid too is the trap of being a trap. And what I mean by that is we're allowed to respect the bear market invalidation. By definition, regardless of what Moon Boys are saying, we have been rejected in every bear market. The problem is you also get stuck at the start of the bull market. So there is a possibility we just sit here for 2 or 3 weeks. That's not bearish. In 2019, you sat here for 36 days. And this is where people were saying still bearish, still bearish. I'm not going to be saying that. If we sit here all of September, you're going to see me flip bullish. If same thing here, we said, oh my God, well, back here we were bullish the whole way, but because we were just bullish everywhere. But we sat here for a month and then we went higher. So us just sitting here for a month is not bearish. I would argue that's also bullish confirmation, which would be good because we would be able to get in before the breakout, which I kind of hope that happens. But at the same time, it's not about what I hope. It's just whatever happens. What I don't want is, I guess it doesn't matter what I want. But if it goes sideways like this, I would already take the L, but at least I have a chance to get in. And people say it's not going to happen. Maybe it doesn't, but it has happened both prior bear markets. So we'll see what happens. But yes, for the bear market to continue, we must have a reversal very much soon. A lot of people are saying it's going to be the Jackson Hole. Maybe that's what it is, but it has to look exactly like this. If we get back to the low by the end of the month, we would see basically the biggest trap in history, and we would put the low in down here in October. Is it impossible? No. Is it likely? Well, I would say that every single day that goes by that we don't go down, it becomes less and less likely. And once we pass through the first 2 weeks of September, I still would say it's not likely. It's impossible. Buy pump. It's like bonk. Is pump still going up? It just undid the whole bear market in 3 weeks, man. Absolute madness. Just madness. Yeah, did you see NPC? It just undid the whole bear market as well in a month. Some of these coins do that. I can't find them, though. I'm not even going to attempt to. You bought Maneki and got a 14x the first time around. Whatever happened to Bonk? Wow. So I'm not in the loop. I'm not in the shitcoin loop. What are we, well, not what are we, but what are people doing now? Are they still on Solana? Or are they on Ethereum? What is everybody looking at? Am I still bald? No, I got a hair transplant last year. Talked about it a lot last year and now. Pump fun? Yeah. Pump fun was a good one. Neat. Yeah, this coin never even went down. Came out in 2025. Oh, I guess it did actually. Wow. We shall see. We shall see. Remember useless coin? What about this? I changed my name. Do you remember me? No, I do not. If you change your name, I don't know who you are. Is everybody coming back to the stream bullish or bearish? What is that? Everybody's coming out of the woodworks. Oh, what about GameStop? Oh, wow. GameStop is up 30%. My question is, can't they just relaunch the coin? Like, can't they just make another one? Another GameStop? You're Mighty Man? All right, Mighty Man. What country do you live in? This is a question only Mighty Man would know. What country do you live in and what is your occupation? Only Mighty Man would know the answer to that. And if you tell me the wrong answer, you will be banned for impersonating our beloved Mighty Man. Croatia? Good try. Ban. Ban. Am I gonna get a webcam? I have a webcam. It's pointed at the wall right now. Once the bull market is free and I can show my face, I can put my webcam on. Wow, even this Jesus is going up. Damn, this thing didn't even go down. Wow. Dude, Ryan Cohen's in the chat. As soon as you mention GameStop, he pops up. At least you guys stuck with me, man. Dude, I'm telling you, we're gonna do good this time. I'm playing it smart. Every dollar I get from YouTube, it's not ever gonna touch Coinbase, man. Yeah, what about FWOG? Is it too late for FWOG? Yeah, but dude, it was already down here. It barely went down. No, I think the new coins would probably be the best bet. I don't know if gambling on old coins is the right move. You know, what about this fake Wojak? Maybe I'll gamble with a little bit, like 250. If I put in 200 bucks and it goes back to the high. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should start a small wallet like last time. What do you guys think, man? Last time I started out with $500. Do you guys actually want to? No, I'm not even going to tell you because I'm going to get laughed at. And I don't, nah, I know better than that. I'm not even going to bother. Yeah, maybe I'll start a small wallet and try and rotate all over the place. Maybe I will do that. We got Chris for 10 says something you said before is Litecoin runs at the end of Bitcoin's bull rally. If this was just a first leg and a mid-cycle correction, then when Litecoin rips and breaks highs, we're at the end. I appreciate the 10. So I think right, I can't really deny any bullish argument right now because I'm really not in a position to. But everything is kind of up in the air because if this isn't a traditional bear market, are we just going to go up immediately and then get a bear market again? Are we just doing a 4-year cycle, but the bottoms and the tops have moved? I really can't tell you, especially since I was looking for a lower low. I really can't put a this must happen on it. What I could argue, though, is we are seeing the bullish momentum that we've typically seen in the start of new bull markets. So it doesn't mean I'm going to be right or wrong, because my theory was already invalidated. But if I were going to push bullish propaganda, I would lean towards a new bull market. Now, some people are looking for a lower high and then a crash. That did typically occur, or that did occur in 2019. Where we had the same exact cross, but then we had a flash crash. The only problem is if we made a lower low, then we're in a ginormous bear market. And as I like to do, I don't have any historical evidence of that. So I don't know how to answer that. I always try and base my responses on the data that's presented. Sometimes it's wrong, but I'm using data, so that's fine with me if it's wrong. But this would suggest that we're starting a new bull market. So I would say, of course, again, I'm trying to swallow the L. I'm not in a position to tell you that we can't have a correction up to whatever and then go back down and make a new low. Maybe that happens. But it does look like a new cycle is on the cusp of starting. Now, what I would say is Litecoin never broke down. It came back to the low from 2022. That is a good sign. That's a very good sign. The Bitcoin pair is still bleeding. So I drew this just for you, I remember. This is not good. This means that they're selling Litecoin to buy whatever else they're buying. I still am not a fan of Litecoin, but I would have to say that if it doesn't pump starting in the end of the year, it's probably not going to, because it has always pumped starting the new year of the pre-halving. Which means if the halving is irrelevant, as it is for Bitcoin, if the bottom is truly in, Litecoin may actually be a dead coin. Because it's going to zero against Bitcoin. And the last two bull markets, Litecoin had a big pump with the LTC pair. Even in 2015, you can see you had the same bull pump. I would really have to argue that if Litecoin doesn't get a rally in the next 3 months, it may be a dead coin. And that's not my opinion, even though it is, but I'm trying to look at the evidence that's presented in front of us. If the bear market is truly over and we're starting a new bull market, every bull market, Litecoin has a big pump in the beginning. So failure to do that, probably by January, or the whatever month is after January, will result in Litecoin being a dead coin, I think. But I mean, I will say this is literally the smallest bear market ever. It just looks so much different than the others. It's tiny. So it's really tough to swallow, but I'm gonna swallow that pill. Once we break the high, I am all in team bullish. No question. But another reason why I'm leaning towards a new market cycle and not a retracement up, doesn't mean I'm going to be right, as we can see, but it's just my opinion, is if you actually look at that moving average that we're talking about, this morning I looked at this, and you actually measure, well, how long are we actually underneath it? We're actually not that far off. This one was 440 days. This one was 330 days. This one was 400 days. So we're definitely underneath it for the least amount of time. But 300 days isn't like, oh my God, it's impossible. It's 300 days, which is not that far off of the other bear market bottoms. Or, sorry, bear markets. So that's why us breaking through here will literally tell me in my head it's time to be bullish. And it would be literally the same thing as turning bullish here. So just like we didn't get bearish up here, we got bearish here, and it still worked out. So of course, if we're not bullish till we break out, we missed all of this. But that's like saying you missed all of this. And this is the point I'm trying to make to the people that may be new. Just because you bought in right now doesn't mean you bought the bottom. If you look at a lot of coins made new lows or came back to their lows. Remember Avalanche? Avalanche made a new low before the bull run, or excuse me, almost an entire year after the bottom was already in. So a lot of people might be getting in right now saying, holy shit, I bought the low, which maybe they did, but the bottom fell out a year later. This is why I cannot exercise more caution than what I'm trying to tell you is, even if you bought the bottom, you might not have bought the bottom. And Avalanche is just one example because Avalanche was one of the top coins. But I remember last market cycle, APT was supposed to be the next Solana. APT bottomed right away, but then it never went up. It just kept going up, coming back down, going up, coming back down. So it's very tough to say if you bought the bottom or not for a lot of altcoins. But for Litecoin in particular, it does have the history of bottoming with Bitcoin, which again, historically you get an LTC BTC pump. So I would say for Chris that if we don't get an LTC BTC pump by the end of the year, it's not coming, which means it's probably a dead chain. But that's my opinion. Take it for what it is. I'm not always right, as you can tell, but that's what I would say. But I appreciate the 10. It's not a bear market, it's a correction. I still think we go to 40K after grabbing the liquidity from the 786 or near the highs. Again, I'm not saying that you're wrong by any means. As of now, I don't have any means to do so. Maybe that's why the S&P isn't correcting, because we're waiting for that. You know? Like maybe the S&P is just going to keep pushing like this, and then we'll get the big crash at some point. But I'm not going to keep calling for this because it looks like it's not coming. VeChain is garbage. Yeah, it's very tough to find the right coin. Let's look at the Bitcoin stocks. Circle is pumping. eToro hasn't pumped yet. Robinhood is about to take the high. Yeah, BMNR pushed up pretty hard. Oh, this is a Solana coin, I think, right? What about DFDV? I think this is a, yeah, this is a Solana coin. For the people that are bullish on Solana, not financial advice, of course, but DFDV is a Solana stock. Now, the reason why stocks are interesting but always a gamble is because when we're in a bull market, it gets out of hand where the shit just goes vertical. So again, maybe I missed the bottom, maybe I didn't, but this is still in the same spot. Are my messages not showing? No, I can see them, resilience. I just didn't see them. I didn't see what you were writing. The minute we learned our lesson about shitcoins, the market does not give us a 70% dump. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the shitcoins went down 95%. It's just they didn't go down this year. They went down the last 2 years. Which if we look at Ethereum, which is, again, it's too little too late, you did have almost a year-long bear market. That's why I'm accepting it if I'm wrong. Because the idea isn't to be bearish, so I'm right. The idea was to be bearish for the 4-year cycle. But if the 4-year cycle's broken, I have no reason to be bearish. And if it's not bearish, I want to get in. And I just have so many coins that are not moving. So it's like, I just need this confirmation so I can get in. You know? Like, I'm not buying Floki, but it's still down here. But I'm not buying Floki because I had it down here and I didn't hold it. So even Casper, right? A lot of people are big on Casper. It's the same spot. Bitcoin get pushed to even 98K, can still dump below 97. Nah, once we get to a certain point, we could still go back down, but it wouldn't be a bear market, in my opinion. Again, I'm not gonna shy away from it. And I have no issue admitting I'm wrong when I'm wrong because I'm not here for validation. I'm here to catch the wave. We caught the majority of the bear market. I avoided pain in the bear market. And hopefully you avoided some pain too. We're in the exact same moment as up here, where we said this is our last chance for the bull market. Anything lower and it's bearish. We broke down. But nobody remembers any of this because we're all focused on right now. It's not just for me, it's just for YouTube in general. Just like Ben Cohen, who's getting made fun of, I'm assuming. He was one of the only people who said no alt season. But nobody remembers that. They only remember the most recent call. For me, I'm lucky because I'm nobody. So only the gremlins will remember. And because I'm a nobody, once Dogecoin starts pumping, it's going to be full of new people. So it's just going to be like sweep it under the rug. So I think once we break the high, that's it for me. I'm looking at coins. I'm not going to get fart coin, but man, I was just looking at fart coin literally the other day. Remember? I said fart coin still down here. And then it just, right when I said that, it just pumped 30%. Now it's too high. Jasmy's, I can't buy Jasmy, man. Jasmy sucks. Tough call. Cardano, oh, VeChain had a nice push. But these coins are way too old. Yeah, I have a nasty sleeper. Do you guys want to hear my nasty sleeper? But if it starts pumping, then I'm going to be really upset. I'm about to spoon feed you the sleeper of sleepers. No, I don't want to because then I'm going to get jinxed. Here's, oh, we hit extreme greed again. Here's the biggest sleeper in the history of sleepers. Do you remember Phantom from from 2021? They rebranded to Sonic, and it's 3 cents right now. This used to be competition with Solana and Avalanche, and it fell all the way down to 3 cents. But the old chart used to be $3. So it went from $3 to 3 cents. So at face value, you might be saying, why would anybody buy that? Which is what I say all the time. But if you look at the all-time chart for Phantom, look at where it is. It's all the way back down here. So it's like, do you just take the gamble and just say, fuck it? You know? I don't know. I feel like I might just take the gamble. Even if it's like 500 bucks, man, and it goes up 100x. I'm pretty sure Phantom was one of the top coins. Now it's dead. But what if it makes a comeback? What do we think? Yay or nay? That coin is dead. Do not buy it. Do not buy it. If we close above, oh, Monad. I forgot about that. Oh, it went right back up. Yes, you're right. That was another good one. Yeah, maybe there's one more pullback and then I can get in. I forgot about this. Bitcoin closes above the weekly super trend. Yeah, I know. That's why I can't be bearish for much longer. I really can't. I'm holding on for dear life, but it's there. Every single time it marked the end of the bear market. We have to go back down. Which it's only $400, but we already broke the 6-day, which has also marked the bottom. So we're at that time. We're at that time. We really can't be bearish once we pass through here. Check out the divergence on the weekly chart. The price of Bitcoin was making lower lows. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat were calling that. And I saw it, but I thought the 4-year cycle would hold. Maybe it still does. We'll see. But yeah, a lot of people were calling that. It's making a hidden bearish divergence too right now, but barely. It's barely making that. But again, look, I'm not going to sit here looking for reasons for it to go down. This is it. If we go up, I'm in. Maybe not right away, but we'll see what she does over the next week and a half. But yeah, a lot of YouTubers and basically all the bulls were calling the bullish divergence. So listen, if that's how it is, you got to give them credit. There's nothing wrong with giving people credit. I wasn't one of those people. So it is what it is. But all of my indicators are all broken. So in the old days, we would look for reasons for things to still work out. I learned my lesson. Just change the trend. Instead of being bearish, be bullish. That's all it is. I can try and find. Now, I wouldn't have bought NPC anyway, but man, what a move. I'm surprised Pepe hasn't pumped. The problem with Pepe is it's just so expensive. This is interesting too. I don't even know what this is, but I saw the chart somewhere. This is either extremely bearish or extremely bullish. High yield corporate bond. When this thing, I already showed you guys this the other day. But this is saying we should be in capitulation right now. This is literally screaming we should be in capitulation right now. So if we don't capitulate and we just go up anyway, it's going to curl up. But every single time we've ever gotten this, Bitcoin capitulated down to the bottom. So if that already happened and the bear market's over, you're going to get a monster bull market. So that's why for me, everything says once we go higher than this, it's time to be bullish. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. All of my indicators got invalidated. Once they get invalidated, it's time to accept. Once we go higher, I will rest easy knowing that the bear market is over. Why isn't Bitcoin going down? Well, it would mean that the bottom is in and this is turning bullish. I'm not trying to say it's ultra bearish. I'm saying historically it was. But if it's no longer the case, it's setting up for a massive bull market. Because once it curls up, look at where, well, come on, man. What's going on here? My chart's acting a fool. Once it curls back to the upside, look at the size of the moves. We had a full-blown bull market right here. We had a full-blown bull market right here. We had a full-blown bull market here. So I'm not gonna look for reasons to be bearish. I'm just saying every time we've hit this level, there was a capitulation. But if we don't get it, and the bottom is in already, then it's going to turn bullish probably in the next couple of months. Which is why in 2027, I am going to be the Ultra Moon Boy. Some of you guys might have forgotten, but we're going to start selling $5 Dogecoin cartons. We're going to sell $1 Doge for $5 a bin. That's showing strength, is it now? Yes, that's the point. Like I said, I'm not trying to look for bearish things. I was looking for things that were bearish, but once they turn bullish, there's no reason to be bearish. The new people think I'm just a bear, which is fucking nuts. Because my whole life they've called me a permabull. But this is bearish when it's bearish, but it's saying that if it's not going to capitulate soon, it is bullish. So I have no issue invalidating once it gets invalidated. But now I know on-chain indicators are rubbish, realized price rubbish, new pool rubbish. We're just going to use the RSI, which is what we did in 2024. It's okay. This color RSI remains undefeated. If the bottom is truly in, it is undefeated, man. I gotta stop fading the power. Power of the Cutler. How do I remove this info box? Do you guys see a thing that says info box? It should be right here somewhere. Oh, here it is. I gotta stop fading this thing, man. But once it turns yellow, I have to get out. Right. When we hit yellow in 2024, we didn't want to believe it because we all just finally got money. Oh, the bull market's going to last forever. And then we went down. So. But here's the thing. Here's the but. You can see the first leg up of the bull market does come up into this range. So if this is truly the bull market, we should come up to this range and then pull back into the summer of next year and then go up like this. Yeah, so the top for us is probably going to be over here somewhere. It doesn't mean that it's a market cycle peak, but it's probably going to be top for people like us. Because let's look at this. If we look at the measurement and we say the bear market bottom was here, this peak was 500 days later. The bear market bottom was here, the peak was 686 days later. The bear market bottom was here, the peak was 1,000 days later. It's getting smaller. So it's possible that if the bottom callers are correct, we might only have to wait 500 or 600 days if it's a 4-year cycle. If it's a correction, like some people are calling, and it's just going to be a retracement, then everything is broken. But I'm okay with this because I'm very familiar with it. I just ignored it. I didn't ignore it, but I didn't give it as much respect as I gave it at the top because of the 4-year cycle. But now I know don't disrespect anything if the bottom is truly in. Which means in English, when it's up here, your net worth should be much higher than it is now. Which means if you have a lot of money and we're up here, regardless of what I or anybody says, it's probably time to go. Too little, too late, of course, but you move on to the next topic, the next chapter. Grease Monkey for 5 says, take a look at Ondo. I appreciate the 5. Ondo. I don't know what this is. Is this a layer 1, a layer 2, a layer 1, a layer who? Chat revenue's going up. Viewers are going up. Time to start grifting pretty soon. First I grifted $2 Doge. Now I'm grifting 40K Bitcoin. Next I'm going to grift... What's next? $1,000 MSTR? Yeah, I'm about to grift MSTR. Let's see. Ondo, John Doe is hitting the 382. This is kind of it right here. 42 cents. Once we break through 42 cents, I imagine the ship is going to leave. 62 cents would be next. So If you want to remain bearish on it, you can. As long as we're below 42 cents. Any lower than 42 cents, or excuse me, any higher than 42 cents, and we're bullish. All right. We got to stay above 33 cents to maintain bullish momentum. So bearish macro below 43. Once you break 43, it should run hard. As long as you're below 43, it's considered accumulation or bearish, and a break below 33 will trigger the move to the downside. I appreciate the 5. Thank you very much. The planning was putting more in at the bottom, but like you, I was looking on chain metrics and was waiting for them to go lower. Yeah, I thought we would go to a negative Newpol, and I really did. And if I'm wrong, I'm not mad that I missed a low on Bitcoin. I'm mad because I had a really big plan for the whole market cycle. I wasn't even going to buy Bitcoin, but the whole plan is out the window. That's what bothers me so much. But that's okay. I'll adapt and find a new plan. My new plan is just going to put everything on dog with hat and close my eyes. All in on dog with hat and close my eyes. Remember Dogecoin, man? Yeah, maybe I should start accumulating Dogecoin. What is it? $350 is a billion coins. Could you imagine this thing comes back? Dogecoin Mars. I'm confused. Do we have to pay to take a look at tokens? I don't even know who you are, man. You talk to your girlfriend like that? Do I gotta pay you for you to do stuff for me? I don't even know who you are, man. Time to grift. Don't worry, man. Once 2027 comes, I got a whole plan for grifting. If this is how it ends, so be it. If this is how she ends, Heather's still not pumping. Very weird bear market, man. Very weird. Very weird. Alt season is 2 to 4 months, then bearish for 4 to 8 years. Been watching this guy for years. He's up there with the best crypto YouTubers. I would definitely not say that, but I only can say I appreciate the compliment because I know how shitty YouTubers are. But the reality is most YouTubers, myself included, are just a bunch of regular people who have a camera and they just start making videos, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's very few people that are actually like elite. They're out there. But even they get trolled. So I've embraced just being a regular guy on YouTube. The problem is when you start acting like you know it all, then you get killed. Because for me, I'm old. I'm over the hill now. I'm too old to be an influencer. So I just want to get the money and leave. But now you guys told me, which you're right, there's no leaving. So I'm embracing, I'm just going to be here forever. So I got to make it, I got to make my channel sustainable where I could read you guys the news, read you a bedtime story. You know, I haven't set that up yet. As we enter the last stages of the year, I'm going to transform my YouTube channel. Not again. I like how it looks. I love the YouTube channel now. It looks good in my opinion. But I got to make a format for the stream. Because for the last 3 to 5 months, we've just been talking to each other like a bunch of jabronis sitting around a campfire. But I gotta run the stream like a grift, where I gotta tell you guys, here's an advertisement from our partners, Blue Chew, bought altcoins, sold the bottom, you can't get it up. Here's some Blue Chew. I'll take some of those, please. Bear here. I'll take some Blue Chew, please. Uncle Ron is probably fuming right now. No, Uncle Ron is just a perma bear. I love me some Uncle Ron, but the guy's a perma bear. Not financial advice. I love me some Uncle Ron, man. But he's been calling for a 2008 crash since 2022, man. He's a smart guy, though, and I like his videos, but if I ever need some bear hopium, I watch him. But I'm not gonna be... Dude, let me tell you guys, like, genuinely, this is me talking now. There's always Vision Pulse, and then there's me, the person. YouTube is life-changing. In bear markets like this, it's fucking terrible. The ad revenue's gone, the channel's shrinking, you think you're not gonna make it. And I was looking at that literally in February and March and April. I said, holy shit, my YouTube channel's about to die. But we have one bullish month, and August is my highest revenue month for the year. And it was shitty for the first 2 months, first 2 weeks. That tells me that once the bull market picks up, I'm going to be in the game. And my ad revenue for the month right here was the highest ever. Of course, that's the top signal. So I looked at my revenue chart this morning and I said, holy shit, it actually looks like 2023. So here's my revenue chart, and I don't say this to flex. I'm literally poor. I don't make that much. I mean, in the bull market, I'm okay, but in the bear market, it's tough. Especially because every time you guys send super chats, YouTube takes 30% of it, and then Google takes, or the government takes that too. So if I'm going to be like my idol, Ron Walker, if you want to take the time to support the channel, in the description, you'll find a link. Cashapp, crypto, PayPal, Streamlabs. Support the channel. Anyway, I was looking at my channel revenue, and it looks like this. So this is 2024. This is the Doge top. But I noticed that it's starting to tick up now. This is what happened in 2022. My channel revenue topped for the monthly. Like each of these data points is 1 month. So my channel started here, dead, and then it shot up. And then in 2022, it was down. But in 2023, it was dead. And then it started to tick up. And then it just shot up. So the argument is for the Moon Boys, which I see it. I am not saying you're wrong now. The argument is that the bear market started back here in 2024. And my YouTube channel is agreeing with that. My YouTube channel says the bear market started here, even though 2022, the channel revenue was fine. In 2023, the channel revenue was garbage. That's what happened this year. But we know that the Bitcoin top wasn't over here. It was over here. So what could be at play here is the next 6 months, or whatever it ends up being, we'll see wherever this rally ends up stopping. Maybe we go down to a new low, but everything will be answered by December, definitively. There's no more maybe this, maybe that. By October, we'll know, are we in a bear market or are we in a bull market? So let's just say October. By Halloween, we'll know where we're at. And we're right here right now. My revenue sucked the whole year. But now with this month being bullish, we just ticked up for the year. We made a higher high. So I imagine, out of respect to Vegeta, because Vegeta called the pump, maybe we get a Vegeta pump and we just go like this. Then my channel revenue will skyrocket. If we're getting a traditional cycle and it's just shifted over, it should come up and then go down again, and then it goes like this. So if the worst is behind me for my channel revenue, I'm okay with that. I mean, this is now the 5th day in a row we pulled 200 viewers. I usually only get well, to be fair, last bear market in 2023, it got pretty bad. We had like 60 people. But for the last 3 to 5 months, we've been pulling 100 plus. Now we're at 150. So if we pull the bull market for real, there's a good chance the ad revenue is going to skyrocket. So anyway, I tried to turn my channel revenue into analysis. I don't do analysis, though. As a real guy talking, not a YouTuber, most of us on YouTube are just regular people, and the elite of the elite are not me. But the bull market changes your life as a YouTuber, because you get more ad revenue, you get more exposure. It's a career opportunity for sure, but it depends on your situation. Like, if I'm being genuine, every time the bear market starts, I always pull money out of my portfolio to cover all my bills and stuff, like rent, insurance, whatever, because I don't know how the YouTube channel is going to hold. Even this year, at the beginning of the bear market, I had no money left. But I opened a mega short right here, and I got all the money I wanted, and I pulled X amount of money out. I said, I need this money. Thank God I did, because I got hit with a tax bill that fucking bent me over. So I had the money for it. But at the end of the year, I always pull money out of my portfolio. So if the bull market is truly starting, I'm going to be happy, because my YouTube channel is going to run and I'm just going to grift like you haven't seen before. But that's what YouTube is. That's what YouTube is. So while it does suck, I may have been too bearish, and I definitely took a hit, because I was really thinking we were going to go like this. I didn't think we were going to come up this high. If this is really about to happen, technically I'm still in a better spot than I was up here. So I'm okay with it. Am I in a good spot? I don't know. Was I in a better spot here? Absolutely. Was I in a better spot here? Absolutely. Am I in a better spot now than I was when I started the bear market? Absolutely. Because if I didn't take this big trade, I wouldn't have any money left, because I have to pay all my bills. Somehow I was looking at my finances and I'm said, where did all this money go? And then I'm looking through my spending. I'm like, holy shit. So I have enough money to survive, of course, and I still have money to go into the bull market. That's why if the bull market is starting now, I'm okay with it, because my YouTube channel is going to come back to life. and I'm gonna start grifting again. So YouTube is, and I say all of this soliloquy to wrap up the shenanigans, because I always said I can't wait to leave, I can't wait to leave. But I guess I'm never leaving, which is good and bad, but it's only bad if I make it that way. So I have to set it up to where it's sustainable, not draining for us, and enjoyable. So what does that entail? I'm not sure yet, but I'll have it figured out by the end of the year. Whether it's reading the news, buying a soundboard. I know you guys might like a soundboard. When someone sends me a super chat, I can make a sound. When the trolls come in, I could play a little sound, ban that guy. I can play the rock, sit down and shut your mouth. You know, I don't know yet. We gotta get this thing in one direction first. So I have to find a way to make YouTube sustainable to where it's not a chore, which it's not a chore. Being a YouTuber is literally the best gift you can ask for. But I think I dread it when it's slow because I make poor investment decisions. But this time around, I'm not going to do that. Literally every dollar I get from YouTube is going into a safe investment. I just can't do it anymore. I can't get my YouTube check. Like let's say I get a YouTube check for $3,000, right? I would take that and throw it into this and it would just go to zero. Like the first time, fine. The second time, fine. For 5 years, it's unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. Because now I'm starting to get old. So I can't keep gambling on Chill Guy with my YouTube checks. And it makes me sick to my stomach, but I'm accepting it that, yeah, I could have taken my YouTube checks and just bought Bitcoin or just bought stocks or just bought whatever. But I don't want to be saying that in 10 years. Because I'm still young, but I'm not young anymore to where I can fuck around like I was for the last 7 years. So every YouTube check I get, I have a plan. And it sucks right now, but I'll be okay. So I'm always grateful for the YouTube channel, man. You guys will never hear me ever say anything bad. Even though I complain a lot, everybody complains, man. And it is a part of the character, too. But I think most of us just come here together to cope. Because I was watching my own stream the other day in my bed, like on my TV, and I was like, I guess it's not that bad, you know, like listening to the stream. It was easy to listen to. Like not now I'm blowing smoke up my own ass. Like, but like I feel like a lot of YouTubers have this fake voice, like you're retarded and they're talking to you, you know. We're gonna go ahead and hop on a 4-hour. Here we're gonna be taking a look at the 4-hour time frame. You know, I can't do that. That's what all YouTubers do, though, not just crypto YouTubers. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Daily Dose of Doge. Welcome to another Daily Dose of Doge. Welcome to... Hello, everyone. I always wanted to do that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another bear market bottom, where the moon boys turn bullish. But I got to get to the point where I have a YouTube channel where I can come on here, read the news, do a little bit of TA, not sit here talking about bullshit. Even though that's what we like to do, we can only do that because there's nobody here. Once there's 400 people in here, I have to keep everybody not entertained, but it's like TikTok brain. I have to keep them stimulated. That's the word. If you don't keep people stimulated, they're going to leave. So I need to find something to keep them stimulated. That's why you guys see how there's a moving thing in the background. It's good for your eyes. It keeps your TikTok brain stimulated. I got to get more moving parts. Maybe I should make the Vision Pulse logo glow. Yeah, that would be cool. If I can make that animated somehow. That's why when you guys watch shorts, you see like it's always Dave Ramsey on the top and then the farmer simulator on the bottom. And then the people in the comments are saying 6 out of 10. Because your brain has decomposed to where it needs to be stimulated at all times. So I need to find a strategy, since now the on-chain indicators don't work, where I read you guys the news for half an hour, we look at shit coins for half an hour, and that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't figured it out yet, but once the bull market gets confirmed, I will have a plan. We got Beta Max Memories for 10 says, can you look at XCN and Swift if you have time? Been watching the channel for years. Have you really? I thought you were new. Beta Max Memories. Maybe it was, yeah, I thought you were new, man. But I appreciate the 10. Swift. Oh, I forgot about Swift. Yeah, that's the Vegeta coin, right? Yeah, this thing, it's tough, man. This coin just goes down forever. It's just going to be one of those coins that maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't. I would say it's technically still bearish because it just keeps making lower lows. This is one of those coins, though, that you check it one day and it's up 100%. But I would still argue that it's gambling, of course, and you're bearish below 37. So a rally up to 37 is definitely possible. Rejection from there is bearish. A break from there to 50 would be very bullish. And once it breaks through 50, that's when you would get one of the God candles where it just starts shooting up. But we'll argue bearish and or accumulation, depending on if you're bullish or not, below 36. Once you break 36, it's super bullish. Once you break over 50, it's Moonboy bullish. And we could argue bearish or sideways underneath 36. XCN. This is another big one. I remember someone in the chat. What was his name? Oh, he has the same name as me. Yeah, Tony Datu. Well, my name's not Tony, but Tony Datu had this coin. He said he had like a 30x and he started going to the buffet every day. So when people start talking about going to the buffet, it's the top. I went to the well, I never went to the buffet, unfortunately. But I was eating pizza and Chinese food here. I won't be eating Chinese food for a long, long time, unfortunately. But nevertheless, XCN is in a nasty downtrend. Again, it's one of those coins that you'll just check it one day and it'll be up 100%. But as long as you're stuck inside of the downtrend, it is still technically bearish. Can we pop up here to 55? Yes. Rejection from there is still bearish. Again, these shit coins that are worth a gumball, they're all bearish until we're max bullish. So you see how we were bullish all of 2023 and this coin literally went straight down? That doesn't mean it has to happen again. But just like all the other garbage cans, it topped in 2025, January, and it's been bearish ever since. So you may get a pop to 55. Breaking 55 opens up the door for the bull market. Breaking over 85 confirms the bull market. But this is considered a garbage can. So failure to break over 55 would trigger a new low, even if the bottom is in for the rest of the market. So I would say to the moon once you clear 85. It is worth noting, though, that this coin did make a retracement in 2020, whatever the last market cycle was. So you have to be open to the possibility that the all-time high is in permanently. You probably have to check the market cap for this, which is something that we used to do. We used to look at this stuff. Most of the time when the chart looks like that, it's heavily diluted. Yeah, I can't even tell. It went to $1 billion market cap in 2025, and the last time it was $1 billion was in November of 2022. Oh no, it hasn't been diluted. It just got rugged. Yeah, so I guess it could go back up. So I would say bearish and or accumulation below 55. And once you break 85, it's super bullish. I appreciate the 10. We got Big G for 10. Says, just wanted to say thanks for your efforts, man. I appreciate the 10. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm already wrong anyway. The damage is done. But I'm not gonna kill myself. Like not literally, but figuratively, I'm not gonna kill myself. Because we turned bearish right when it was supposed to turn bearish. We missed the exact top, of course. So if I miss the exact bottom and I turn bullish next week because we break out, I'm okay with that. I tried to look at historical data. It didn't play out. You live and you learn and you move on. Unfortunately, there's no more time for learning. So I did waste all I wasted all that time for the last 3 months. But you know, I think it's always better in life to accept you're wrong as fast as possible. Once you start something and it gets too out of control, you can't fix it. I would rather fix it as soon as possible, which we're at that moment right now. Once we go higher than this, there's literally nothing on the chart that's bearish. There's nothing. So I appreciate the 10. We got Grease Monkey for 5, says, think Tau is going to 354. I appreciate the 2. Yeah, I still don't know what Tau is. A lot of people talk about Tau in the chat. Is it supposed to be like an egg roll? Tau? Tau roll? Is it supposed to be the next Ethereum? I don't know what it is. It's been going sideways for the last 2 years. We talked about this the other day. Somebody in the chat, I think it was Mixer. We said a rally to the 382 is possible, which is 275. So I would say 275 is probably coming. And breaking over 330 would actually break the downtrend. Now, historically, when you break the 382, it's typically bullish. Most of the time, when you break the 382, you go to the 618 retracement. So I would imagine breaking over 270 would send you to 336, which breaking that will send you to 408. So we can assume that Tau is probably going to hit 250, 280 in the next couple of days. I don't really like this chart, though. It feels like it's too sloppy. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I knew something was up. So the 382 is 350. So breaking 350 would basically send you to the moon. It looks like Zcash from 2017, which is not good, but it's just a saying. I imagine over 350, that's it, to the moon. So this is either super bearish or this is the biggest accumulation for the breakout. But like I said, I have no reason to be bearish once we break 80, whatever it is, 81K, 82K. So 350 is the price to break here. And I appreciate the 2. Your 4-year cycle theory is about to get invalidated. Yeah, it could be. It could be, man. It could be. I have a different YouTube account now. What's your other name? He's at the age where he gotta make noise every time he stands up. No, but I have to use the side of the car to get out of the car. I just noticed that. I have to like put my weight on the car and get up out of the car. It's tough, man. Getting old sucks. We got Chris for 2 says maybe used car for a gamble. I appreciate it too. Used car. I forgot about used car. Oh, they made one on Robinhood. Yeah, it's not the worst. These dirt coins are like super gambling though. Like ultra gambling. Like if you have $500 that you want to piss away, you know, that I would say. But like I wouldn't put 5K. You can't even put 5K. There's only 100K liquidity. I mean, you could, but it would cause one of these spikes. Yeah, the chart's not terrible though. You got an accumulation pattern. You had an accumulation pattern here too though, and it went even lower. So that's why it's a gamble. But it's not terrible. I would say Moonboy bullish over 13. And I would say 20 actually. We'll just say Moonboy bullish over 20. But these are kind of the coins that just go like this one day. It's got a great, I mean, it's got a generationally great liquidity to market cap ratio. 100K liquidity to 164K market cap, you're not going to find something that much better. But if someone like you gobbles up all the coins, it's not going to be pretty. But it's definitely a watch for sure. I don't know, for some reason, whenever Whiff pumps, Ribbit pumps. I know they said back in the day that's because the contract deployer from Whiff is the same as Ribbit. Ribbit's, someone asked about Ribbit the other day. You know, all of these coins are decent gambles, but they're gambles. I don't know if they're going to go back up. But I appreciate the 2. That was an AI coin. AI coin. Wasn't Fetch an AI coin too? Yeah, wow, it just undid the whole bull market. I mean, dude, if we're gonna do this, I'm not even mad. And the top is at the end of 2027. That's not even a year away. Oh my God, could you imagine a year from now we're all rich again? You're 33. 33 is not old, man. Once you hit like 45, 46, you start to feel the decline. Those were the days being 33. My fellow 40-year-olds. No, I'm just kidding. Remember, I used to pretend. I used to be in Australia with 3 kids. I guess it all depends on how you take care of your body. Some people could be 50 looking good, some people could be 25 and fat as hell. I know for certain that I mean, I've been fat my whole life, but in 2023, I was 175 pounds, like a toothpick, but my knee was messed up. When I was in 2021, I was 180 pounds, but I was running every day and I felt invincible. I've been trying to run this year, but I'm just so heavy that it's just impossible. Like I've reached my max speed. I can't go any faster. I've been trying to run around the track. I got it down to 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So if you want to see if you're faster than me, it takes me 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go around the track twice in the third lane, which sounds like a 9-minute mile, which is good, but I can't go any faster than that, and it's not. Once I cross the finish line, I'm about to like throw up. So I can't run that far. I'm just too heavy. But I could tell it's much harder to move now than it was 5 years ago. So I can only imagine that in 10 years it's going to be pitiful. I'm 51 and I'm in better shape than most 30-year-olds. Yeah, exactly. It's all about how you take care of yourself. Because I was walking in 2022, and I remember there was a lady that was running, and she said, I'm 80 years old. I said, holy shit. Now she's 84. She's even still alive. But it all depends on how you take care of yourself. The whales are taking their time to dump. They're dangling the carrot. Yeah, we gotta respect both outcomes for me. This is it. If we blow through this, it's all over. There's no reason to be bearish. MSTR. The thing is, if we're bullish, though, MSTR is going to just pump. It's just going to pump away. That's why I'm showing you guys this now, so you can't tell me at least I didn't bring it up. I might not have caught the exact low, but, well, not me, but I'm telling you guys. This is ultra bullish. If Bitcoin is truly going higher, this is the most bearish MSTR has been since the start of 2024. So if MSTR is going to catch up, we can actually try and do the math here. The NAV is 0.7, and we're at $140. So if we're looking for the NAV to reach where it reached in 2024, which is not going to because every market cycle is getting lower. In 2021, it hit 3.5. In 2024, it hit 2. Oh shit, it hit 2. Oh shit, it hit 3. Yeah, maybe not. Hold on a second. Is MSTR waiting for us? In both prior bull markets, the NAV hit 3. Right now, we're at 0.7. No, we're at 7. And I know this is a real thing because in May of this year, it went all the way up to 1.06. So once we hit 1, MSTR is going to skyrocket. Now, this is not updated. It says August 10th, so it's probably higher right now. No, I know it's not higher right now because it just started moving up today. And that's why I made the video today, because I saw it. That's why I always told you guys, my job isn't to give you what I think it's bullish or bearish. I'm trying to give you the historical reference points. When I saw this morning, I said, look at this. And literally the day I made the video, it started pumping. So I'm not going to tell my viewers, yeah, this is not going to go up. Like, we have to acknowledge this. So even though I might have missed the low, this is saying in Bitcoin terms, you didn't miss the low yet. So this is the chart we're going to have to watch as we enter the bull market into next year. Maybe the bottom's already in. I don't know yet. Because it's pretty nuts, man. Even though this was the bear market bottom, MSTR didn't actually buy Bitcoin until I don't even know where did they buy Bitcoin? I don't even remember. So there's no guarantees that it comes up here though. That's the thing. Unfortunately, you can't even use the RSI either because it's broken. But, or maybe it's not actually. Let me see. Yeah, it's busted. That's odd. Oh, no, it's not. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so you know how all the Moon Boys call the bullish divergence? Now this is my redemption. This is my redemption call. Bullish divergence on MSTR. I don't use the RSI for that though. I'm using my indicator that tells me when it's bearish or bullish. It told me it was bullish back here and here, but I ignored it. At least I'm showing you now. We have a bullish divergence with a green dot, and the pump didn't start yet. Last time you had this was never. So we'll monitor this over the next couple of weeks. You don't have a bullish divergence on the 3-week though. So we'll see what happens on the 3 and the 4 day. You can see the rally hasn't started yet. So I don't know if the bottom is in. Maybe it is. If it is, this is about to rip. The 2023, it ripped. 2024, it ripped. If this is about to rip, MSTR should go much higher. I think it should come back to the high. So if we're in a bull market, MSTR is probably going to come back to this high here at like 170. So I guess we'll be seeing MSTR at 170 over the next couple of weeks if the bull market has started. What's the difference between buying Bitcoin and buying MSTR? Bitcoin and MSTR is like leveraged Bitcoin. I respect both outcomes, but I've been seeing smaller content creators doubling down on Bitcoin sub 50K. Yeah, I don't watch YouTube. I have been, but I've been watching the Bear Cope, like my fellow bears, just to see if they're saying anything new, but we're all saying the same thing. We're at that time where if you're still bearish, you have to be able to accept when you're wrong. Because it's not about what people think, it's about yourself. I could care less if people always call me whatever. I need to see for myself, once this is bullish, I have to turn bullish. Because I have coins that I want to look at that are waiting for me. And if I'm sitting here looking for 10K and we're going to the moon, I'm going to miss it. So for me, I'm just watching to see if this gets invalidated, which I'm looking at this MSTR chart and I'm saying to myself, I don't know if I should ignore this. So that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. Because a lot of people call bullish divergence on Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is not only a bullish divergence on MSTR, it is literally a bullish divergence on MSTR BTC, which means it's about to rip higher than everything else if we're in a bull market. You see how we have the same bullish divergence on MSTR? It just means that MSTR is attempting to turn bullish. But if you have, because Bitcoin was bullish, but if you have the Bitcoin pair turning bullish, that means if MSTR, that means that if Bitcoin is truly entering a bull market, then MSTR is going to rip even higher, which is why I have to respect the bullish and the bearish propaganda. It's the same thing. A lot of you guys were telling me bullish divergence, and I said I see it, but I think the 4-year cycle will hold. Now it's the same exact chart, but for MSTR BTC. So if this is truly the bottom, we should be looking for a mega pump of about 30 to 40%, which would put us at 190. So if we're in a bull market, MSTR should be 190 by the end of the year. If it's still a bear market, then everything I just said is rubbish. Again, all I say is rubbish shit. So we'll see what happens. There's no more time left for the perma bears. This is kind of it. You got the 1-day red dot. Oh, you don't have a 1-day red dot. You got the 23-hour red dot. You got the 1-day red dot on Ethereum. If we don't roll over soon, it's not bearish anymore. This is it for the perma bears. This is our only chance. So if we come to the middle of September and we're still not going down, I have to just say it's over. Because it would almost be like a second chance for the people who missed it to get in. Because as I told you in the beginning of the live stream, in every bull market, we sit here for a month before going higher. So we could sit here for a month and people would say, oh, look, it's still bearish. But that's your last chance to get in before it goes up. So if we're here, this is what I'm trying to say. If we're doing this shenanigans, I'm not going to be telling you we're going down the whole time. Once we get to a certain point, so we might be right here where we just hit it. Now we're kind of floating around. If we're in the middle of September and the shit still doesn't go up, down, I mean, then you're in here. It happens in every bull market, also in every bear market. But the thing is, even here, you got a little bit above it, but you didn't stay here for a month. You stayed here for a week and then you went down. We've already been up here for a week, believe it or not. It's kind of crazy to say. But you see how we stayed here for a month? When you're bearish, you don't stay up here forever. We stayed up here from the 24th to the 30th, and then we went down. Here, we stayed up here. I guess we stayed up here for a little while. But we don't have enough time for this. We're not going to get this big-ass candle like that. So I would have to say, man, that if we're still here in the middle of September, it's probably going to push up. The bear argument is on its last leg. And I don't think that's an issue to fight. I think it's better to acknowledge it. So a big pullback in September is required. Anything other than that, and it's not bearish anymore. And I have no issue saying that because Solana's starting to pull away now. And if Solana starts pulling away, then these doo-doo coins are going to start pumping. And I don't want to miss, even though I quote-unquote missed the bottom, I can find 100 coins that haven't moved. That doesn't mean they're going to go up, but I still have my watch list from last bull market. Right, soul rotation, what do we got? Nubcat? Dude, I remember Nubcat had that monster run. Shark Cat, remember Shark Cat? Oh wow, it actually doesn't look, I mean it looks like shit, but it hasn't really gone down. Cat with hat. Oh wow. Yeah, Cat with hat's got decent liquidity too. Yeah, maybe I should start a gambling wallet. I would put 400 bucks on here. What's 50 times 400? 20 grand? Just put the money in and forget about it. Remember Pangu? Oh, this is Pang. It's not even Pangu. Yeah, this thing's done. Undo. Wow, this thing didn't even move. Nah, some of these are dead though. Michi, remember Michi? Oh, they migrated. Mini. Yeah, look at that. This thing hasn't even moved. Oh yeah, it did. Oh, it just made a new low. Yeah, wait a second. How do we feel about some of these coins? Just a little gamble coin. What about Retardio? Remember Retardio? Yeah, it's been... But I feel like the newer coins would probably be the better bet. It's just you have to know what you're looking at, and I don't know if I have it in me to go through this again, trying to look under rocks. This Wojak... I didn't even click on this. This Wojak looks interesting. Doesn't look too shabby. Right? This... I guess this is Wojak on Pump Fun. There's a decent amount of shit on here. It's just never ending. So it's kind of like you're gonna have to gamble, which I don't know if I want to. I told myself I wouldn't. Remember Giga Chad? I told myself I wasn't going to. I can't believe this coin went back up. Nyan Cat. Look at that shit. $300 turned into 30,000. But you would have had to have held the whole way through. Make a plan, then proceed to lose it all on shit coins. Yeah, I'm not actually going. I'm not going back there. I told myself I'm not going back there. Maybe if I ever get extra money and I have like money to piss away, but I can't take my chunk and just throw it in hoping for a 50x. Those days are over. They literally are. You know, the old me would be like, "Ah, shit, I gotta put all my money on PopCat just for it to go down again." I can't do it anymore. No looking under rocks. Yeah, I know. I'm saying though, for the bearish environment to be invalidated, that's what I'm saying. Like once we get confirmation, I'm not going to be bearish anymore. Until then, I'm just going to see what happens, but this Wojak kind of speaks to me a little bit. This Wojak kind of speaks to me a little bit. What do you think? Caraco? Nobody? Oh, I remember this coin. Nobody sausage. Yeah, she broke down big time. Whatever happened to Jelly Jelly? Jelly Jelly never fell. Jelly my jelly. I can't believe it. This coin never went down. I still can't figure out what this is. It's like a scam or something. Yeah, as tempting as it is, I just can't do it. I can't do it. Because I can never pick the right one. It's like impossible. Look at them. There's just millions of them. There's unlimited. Remember MLG no scope? It does look pretty good though. It does have a double bottom. MLG no scope. Bobo? Wait, is this the Bobo that migrated? Didn't they say they migrated Bobo from Ethereum to Solana? Is this the Bobo that got migrated? Oh, this one got rugged. Yeah, see, we don't talk about this, man. Just getting rugged. Fuck that. That's all I needed to see. Back to reality. That was a nice little trip down memory lane. We're back to reality now. We got Magic Ostrich for 11 says, hope you're doing good, brother. I appreciate the sub. I can't say I'm doing good, that's for sure. But I'm confident in my ability to get out of shitty situations. I always tell myself, I always put myself in the shittiest situations, but I always find a way out. So right now I kind of put myself in a shitty situation, but I know I can get out of it. I just have to let the dust settle, let the emotions clear, and come at it with a level head, and I'll be all right. Because you know what? I know I'm not a expert trader, but I was in a really, really shitty situation here, and I found my way out of it, and I was on top of the world. Now I ruined it. I'm in a shitty situation here. I was in a shitty situation here, found my way out of it. Now this, I promised myself I would never let myself get back here. This was like, holy shit, this guy doesn't even have lint in his belly button. And somehow I made it to the top of the world. Same thing happened here. I put myself in a really, really, really shitty spot, but I climbed out of it. So, same thing here. Shitty situation. Actually, I was in a better spot here than here, but I was better off here than here. Even here, I was in a shitty spot. I did okay, gave it all back, gave it all back. So I can navigate. It's just I back myself into corners sometimes. But the biggest lesson I learned was actually from losing all my money back here. You can't let yourself go to a point where you can't recover. So I took a hit, but I can recover. Most of the time, people they just say, fuck it, let it go to zero. I promised myself I would never do that. That's why I'm saying, listen, if I'm wrong, I'm going to accept it. I'm not going to keep trying to short this. And at the same time, I don't want to take all my money and buy in right here. I have to wait for either this to see if we go down or this to see if we're going up. Until then, I can't really do much. It's going to be tough. Because when you're wrong, if I'm wrong here, it's just, I can't do anything. You know, I can't just start drawing bullish propaganda now. I have to wait and see if this is going to retrace or not. But the invalidation point is so clear cut. We must go down in September. If we don't, there's no time left. So we're kind of at that moment now where time is kind of up. We kind of got to start going down soon if it's going to go down. So we've already been up here for 5 or 7 days. I'm actually curious what the Bollinger Bands look like. Yeah, look, they're resetting again. Holy shit. We're getting ready to move. Holy shit, we're getting ready to move again. Wow. Look at that. It's getting ready to move. I can't believe the move was actually up like this high. Yeah, I guess we could start moving again. Man, if we sit here for another 2 or 3 days, we're gonna get another big move. So I guess that's your answer. We'll definitely know in September. Right? If we just sit here and then we reverse back down, then we'll know the bear market's not over. But if this ends up going up, then I'm invalidating it as soon as possible. As soon as possible. But yeah, it looks like another move is coming, actually. I'm surprised that quickly. And here's the thing. We have a 6-month BBWP bar, so if this moving average breaks, it is a bull market. We have a monster Bollinger Band bar here. Monster bar. So I'm not going to be the guy to say it's bearish all the way up to 100,000. My invalidation point is right here. Because this is going to tick up, and then that's it. Which is interesting, because you see how in the other bear markets, this thing went sideways, but then when the alt season part came, we just went up. We might, no, that's not true, actually. We had it here. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so we could do that, too. We'll see. Imagine 89K, then back down to 45K. I don't know if that's possible, man. I would really have to imagine that us going any higher than this would just put the nail in the coffin. Right now, the bears, like me, are laying in the coffin, just staring at the fucking sun. And once the door shuts, the door shuts. Once the door shuts, it's over. Close the casket. Oh my god, QQQ's at 721 now? Oh, I guess that's not that high. I don't know why I thought it was higher than that. How are the Bitcoin stocks doing? MSTR is the only one I watch. What is STK? Oh, this is another Solana stock. Yeah, so for the Solana Moon Boys, this is hold on a second. Let me do some research before I go. So we looked at this during the summer. There's a couple of Solana companies, Forward Industries. I could never find this. Forward Industries. But when I search it up, oh, here it is. Yeah, look. This is a Solana stock. So when we go parabolic, whenever that is, I would imagine this would pump with Solana, because it is. So maybe these treasuries would be what I would look at instead of going on Dex Screener. These guys have the most Solana out of all of them. What about this? UPXI? Oh, this is a pharmaceutical company. What the fuck? Dude, I already have this on my watch list. Are they holding Solana? Hello? Oh yeah, look. Solana unrealized losses surged May 12th. Yeah, what do we think about this as a gamble? It's been bottomed since February. We have this, which is the Chris. This is the Chris chart, Litecoin strategy. It's just following Litecoin. See, the thing that I like about this is you can buy it in your stock portfolio and not have to go all over the place, you know? Like with Coinbase and shit. You can just sell these and then go back into your stock market. Oh, look at this. This thing didn't even move yet. Listen, it's worth a look, to say the least. You know, I mean, to just flat out ignore it, I don't think is necessarily wise. You know? I mean, if it's gonna pump and follow Solana, yeah, see, now the degenerate is coming out. Like, dude, what if I full port this? You know, and it goes back up. The reason why is because I know these treasuries and these quote unquote treasuries and trusts, when we're bullish, people overpay for them. Yeah, I gotta add this to the watch list. BTGO. BitGo. Oh, this one came back to life already. Damn it. This one already came back from the dead. What do you guys think of these? You think these are no good or what? Bitcoin Lightning Network just got hacked. Again? I don't know. See, but this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, if we invalidate the bear market, I understand. I'm not going to sit here watching everything leave without me. Damn, I'm going to have to do some research on this. It looks like it's just following Solana. Yeah, what happened here? Oh, whoa. I gotta start getting ready. BTCM. Not even a thing. Solana company. Publicly traded company. H. Oh, this thing's done, man. Holy crap. Yeah, I guess it's the same thing as the shit coins. Like, I think they might have became a Solana stock here. I'd love to see you try Kalshi. No, that's even worse, man. I'm not going down the gambling rabbit hole. I remember in 2019, there was a website called Cryptobo where you can click a button where you think the price is going to go. And like your timer has to expire before the price gets there. And every single time it would go like this and then take my money. I'm telling you, I can't do that shit, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this. Forward. This is called HODL. This is interesting, huh? HODL. You would have to be a real degenerate to buy this garbage. HODL. Let me look at this. HODL. Founded in 2002. Oh, they actually have a website. You ready? Wow. You could just feel the FOMO. Oh! Whoa, look at the website, dude. Whoa. Look at that. Oh, they got two of them. STKE. Oh, I guess they rebranded. Yeah. Let's see, man. I gotta get some confirmation here before I make a decision. Gemini's not moving either. The Ethereum grayscale, of course. Bitcoin covered call. I guess this thing kind of sucks. It's not moving. Get rid of that. G-Dog, Grayscale Dogecoin Trust. See, this could be interesting because this fell. This is down by 44% from December. We're down. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay. DFDV. This is interesting too. I think this is another Solana stock. Yeah. This is another Solana stock. So a lot of companies are all doing the same thing. They're all buying these garbage cans. So it's almost going to be like super exposure. So like I get it if we missed the bottom, but they're still down here. I mean, we might have missed the absolute low if the bottom is actually in. But Bitmine, we already went over. G-Souls, Grayscale. Yeah, this is the Chris chart, LTCN. Is this thing dead? Guess so, right? Yeah. Bitcoin Cash. See, I don't think you can buy this. I tried to look at it this morning and it says it's not tradable. Same thing with stacks. They're all blocked. All right, gentlemen and the three ladies, it's been a pleasure. Nice little stream again today. But we shall return tomorrow. We will not remain permanently bearish. All right. Once we break through, I will officially come on here telling you I was wrong. I wasted your time. And thanks for accepting me. And then we can turn bullish. This is it, gentlemen. Our finest hour. Because like I said, you're not going to see me being bearish as everything leaves. This is our last stand. If we go down from here, so be it. I still wouldn't be right anyway. It's not about being right. It's about capitalizing on the move. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to sit here telling you crash any higher than this because I got a lot of shit. I mean, I have a watch list of like hundreds of stocks. Now I'm looking at this piece of garbage. Man, a $2,000 flyer. Damn, I'm actually thinking about it. Just a little $2,000 flyer, man. Get 35, 40K back. Yeah. Yeah. You're like, why not? Right? I'm about to start shilling this. I'm just kidding. It's still on the ground floor. You know, like I didn't get in at 14, but I can get in at 18. Now, if I was going to put in 14 versus 18,000, that's a big deal. But 1,400 and 1,800, that's not nothing, man. Imagine putting in 18K and it goes back to the high and you have 500,000. That would be nuts. Yeah, Soul Strategies. Is this the next MSTR? Yeah. We got to see what she does here, man. F-Cell went crazy. F-Cell went crazy. Fuel Cell Energy? Yeah, you must have told me a couple months ago. You got a 2x, 3x. Not bad, not bad. First I told you so. First of many. Maybe no one is interested in that. Nah, it takes a while for it to wake up. Just like MSTR. A lot of people think MSTR is dead. But make no mistake, this chart's about to wake up. Unless the bear market's still in play, of course. But once we get confirmation, this chart is going to come alive. People think that when it's not moving, it's dead, and it could be. But, I mean, I can risk $2,000 just to gamble. It's following Solana, though. You know, the bottom was forming here if the bottom is in. I keep saying if because I don't have confirmation yet. But once we do, I have a whole list of shit that I can get in. Did I miss BMNR? If the bottom is in, yes. Did I miss this? Yes. Did I miss this? Yes. But this little piggy. Wee 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 wee. But this little piggy went all the way home. Went all the way home. All right, gentlemen and the three ladies, it's been a pleasure. We shall return tomorrow. All right. If we can get a pullback, we might be able to get a chance. Same thing with MSTR. Maybe MSTR is the right play. Just keep it simple. Because we can take this cutout and we can see that if we pass through September, there's really no reason to be bearish. This is kind of it for me and for MSTR. I don't know if I can afford to let this go. But once we get that confirmation, right? Look, this is saying this is it. So if September is in any way bullish, the bottom is in. This is it. Good luck to you all. I let you down if we bottomed, but that's okay. As always, I appreciate the support. None of this is financial advice. The super chats have been pumping, baby. If we keep this up, I'll be able to move out of a box and into a box. I appreciate the super chats. As always, I appreciate the support. Stay safe. None of this is financial advice. We shall return tomorrow. Chat revenue's going up. Make sure you guys support the channel. Go to the description. Send me some money. Courtesy of Von Walker. And we'll be back tomorrow. Stay safe. See you soon. And take care.